Good morning, how are you today? It's so good to see you again at our 11 a.m. Productivity Facebook Live. I am Suzanna Kaye with Spark Organizing, and I produce these live broadcasts each week because I just want to give you more time and energy to do the things that you love and that really make life important. So that's why I do this each week. You can follow me here every week, 11 a.m. on the Spark Organizing Facebook page. Today we are talking about taking your calendar app to the next level. What I mean is some unique ways to use the calendar app already on your phone, or if you have one of the additional apps. I'll be talking about my favorite app that I use for a calendar and some of the ways that we can boost our productivity and be more organized within our app. This is part of the Digital Life series that I'm doing, where each week for quite a while, I think, based on the list of apps that I want to tell you about, I will be talking about some of the apps that can make your life you could take your life and your productivity to the next level. So let's hop right in. I will tell you ahead of time that first off, I will be talking about what my favorite app is and why and the basics of that app. Next, I will be talking about what you can do in order to keep everything together within the app. Sorry, I lost my notes. And using multiple calendars and colors in order to do this. And then finally, my third and favorite tip is how to keep all the relevant information that you need for these appointments along with the appointment itself, and how to tweak how you use your app. So stick around. Tip number 3 is my all-time favorite and the most life-changing for me and my clients. Let's dive right in. I'm trying out yet again some more technology in order to make this easier for you. And today we have a larger screen. We'll see how this goes. First off, my favorite app right now is called Week Calendar. That's W-E-E-K Calendar. You can find it on Android. You can find it on iPhone. It's on pretty much all the devices. So let's look here. I'm going to share my screen with you. This is my phone screen. And I will make it as big as possible for you. You'll just need to give me a second until we are up and running with it. So this is Week Calendar, and you will be able to see it better in just a moment, if Facebook will work with me. There we go, that's a little bit better. So Week Calendar, like I mentioned, you can find it on Android, you can find it on iPhone. It's pretty much everywhere that you might need it to be. I'm still going to adjust this a little bit more for you. Let's see, will Facebook do it? Nope, I can't turn while recording. I'll start it off the other way next time. But Week Calendar, I like it because it gives you a month view. So as you can see, this is kind of a simplified version of my calendar within Week Calendar. And within this, you can see I have all my events. I can actually see the name of the events right within the app. Instead of them just being the dots that we're used to seeing, I can see the actual name of them, which is really nice. Also within Week Calendar, you have all the different views available. Sorry, I'm just trying to change some of these settings. Facebook is not being kind. Hopefully it'll work with me here in a minute. New technology, no matter how many times you test it, it's just not going to work. All right, there we are. We're better again. So within the calendar, you can see your entire month at a glance, which that's what I love, because to me, a calendar that only has dots is not helpful. That gives me only the information that I have something going on that day, but it could be anything. It could be that I added a reminder. It could be just about anything that I put on my calendar. So that's why I prefer Week Calendar. It also is able to, within an event, link directly to the map to the event, which I love. for example, let's pull up, I've got my dentist appointment listed here. Within there, it tells me how far of a drive it is. And then also I can link to my contacts app and it will pull up the address for me, or I can just start typing an address and it will try to complete it based on where I've been before or what it knows is nearby. That way, all I have to do is tap on the address and then select maps or whichever map service I want, and it will pull it right up for me, which is such a time saver. So then I can quickly get to where I need to go. Also within the app, it syncs across all platforms. So whether I'm using this app on every device or if I'm using multiple apps, then it will sync across all of them. So on my Mac, they don't have week calendar for Mac as far as I can tell yet. I've looked, and hopefully one day, if anybody knows the week calendar people, put in a good word for me. But I do use my calendar on my Mac. This syncs with my iCal calendar onto my Mac seamlessly. That is really important for me because depending on where I'm at, I need to be able to view what I'm supposed to be doing at any one time. So that is why I enjoy week calendar. I hope that that gives you a little explanation of what it does and why it does it. You can print from it, you can have multiple calendars, it's just highly useful. So I would love to hear what calendars you use. I see Mary, you said that you tend to put things on the calendar, then not look at the calendar. You need a good reminder from the Calendars app. And within Week Calendar, one of the nice things is you can add reminders for your events too. So if I wanted to pull up one of my events, within the event when I set it up, I can set reminders. So right here you see it says first alert. I don't know how well you can see it, but if I tap on that, you can not only set one alert, but you can set multiple alerts, Mary. So you can warn yourself 19 minutes before because that's the drive time. With me, I kind of need a reminder before I need to be in the car, so I would set maybe 30 minutes before. And then you can also set a second alert. The second alert is yet another alert that you can add, and it will alert you as many times as you want pretty much. I don't know how many alerts it allows, but it more than I've ever needed, which is nice. So I hope that answers your question, Mary. Also, if you're not used to checking your, yes, you need multiple alerts. I need that too. If you're not used to checking your calendar also, I say set a reminder in your Reminders app to check your calendar and just make it a repeating reminder for maybe morning and evening. So you remember to get in the habit of looking at your calendar, because all of this is based on habits as far as what works and what does not. Now, another thing that I use Week Calendar for is the fact that it has multiple calendars and multiple colors associated with the calendars. It's kind of hard to see with these, but let me open up a few more calendars. My life is crazy. I don't know about you, but I have multiple things going on at any one time. Pardon me, I'm getting over allergies. But at any one time, I have so many things going on that it's hard to keep track of them. So as you can see, I'm scrolling through. These are all of my calendars. So I have all of my organizers' calendars. I have all of my calendars, and I've set up some example calendars to show you all today exactly how I use them. But right now, you can see that there's a check mark next to personal and birthdays. I can add in, if I want to see, one of my calendars that I use the most is my clients. For whenever I'm organizing or coaching, I would like to see that as opposed to my organizers' work when they're out organizing. So when I open this up, sorry, I swear I set it on Do Not Disturb, but it does not seem to be working. When I open this up, once I change back to those calendars, you'll be able to see just those calendars entries. So now this looks like a lot, but you can see that these are some of my organizing and coaching clients are in orange, and I can see who's where as far as my organizers in purple. This my brain needs to compartmentalize things in order to understand what's going on. And the colors of this is where I need to be versus this is where other people are, and that overview is really important to me. The fact that they have multiple calendars and multiple colors available for the calendars, and I can set the colors myself. That has been so useful for me. Not only that, but I can hide and show items on my calendars. A few of my favorite calendars that I have listed, one of them is menu. With a very busy family, sometimes I just need to make sure that I know where we're at for dinner and what we're having. So menu is actually one of my calendars. And I can change the view down here in the bottom. And you'll see we can do it as a list view, and that way when I'm at the store, I can also go, okay, what are we doing for dinner on Tuesday? And I can see and I can grab what we need for that dinner. If we go back to the mini month, that's the view that this is called, where you can see everything at once. Another one of my favorite calendars that I use a lot. I already showed you my clients. That's when I'm working with organizing clients or coaching people. My organizers work. Their calendars are linked through Gmail. They use Google Calendars in our business to show when they're available, when they're busy, and who they're working with. And that links right here. I've linked all of them to one calendar and then directly to week calendar, so I can quickly see exactly who's where. And also when I go to their individual calendars, I can see their availability very easily. So this will import all of those different calendars into one place for me, which when things are moving so fast, I really need. I also have a shared calendar with my husband. I've got multiple shared calendars with my husband regarding things that we need to do for personal, things that we need to do with our daughter, and keeping all of that together. So you can share only some of these calendars if you want to. You don't need to share all of them. Just share what you want. For example, one of my calendars that I use frequently is To Do. Now when I use To Do, as you can see, this is the stuff that I need to do during the day. That way I can see on the calendar how long it's going to take. As far as how long I think it's going to take, I can do my batching, which you've heard me talk about batching, which is doing the same type of task in one time block. So all of my phone calls, you'll see, I have phone calls are repeating. I can add in various tasks and see my to-do list on the calendar. And the nice thing is it's not mixed in with my other things. This is a calendar I don't share with my husband. That would drive him crazy if I did. But it's a working to-do list where I can time block my time easily. Another one of the calendars that I find extremely useful to have is, of course, birthdays. I can view people's birthdays very easily, so I'm ahead of the game, and I actually remember to send out the cards, which I've got a reminder set up on my reminders for the first of the month to purchase and mail out birthday cards for that month. That way I seem much more on the ball than I really am. Another one that I use frequently, ideas and possibilities and FYIs. So what this one is for me, these are ideas of things to do. They're things I've not committed to, but if we're looking for something to do this weekend, then I can quickly see, oh yeah, that's right, the Science Center does their live shows, or we could go to a play at the Rep, or that's right, SAC Improv has a show going on. Also, if you get those random invites and you would like to go, but you're not sure if you'll have time or be in the mood, this is the place to add all of those events that you've not committed to, but that are great ideas, and then you're not sitting around on a Thursday night with a sudden opening going, well, what do we want to do? I feel like getting out of the house. Well, it's right there. Or even you can add some house stuff. If you wanted a calendar of just things to do around the house that would be productive and either enjoyable or that need to get done, it's great. Create a calendar for it. And the nice thing is you can show it and hide it as much as you want to. Finally, around here, I am lucky enough to live in an area that has multiple places to do yoga and exercise classes. So this is my craziest calendar, but if I end up with an opening in my time and I want to get a quick yoga class or a spin class in, I already have the schedules for my favorite places just inside the calendar. It's on repeat, so I don't enter this over and over. I've entered this once and it just repeats however often I tell it to. And I can quickly see that if my Friday client canceled on me, great, I can go to any one of these classes and work that in. That's been super handy for me, and with the repeating events, it helps out so much. I don't know, how do you guys, let me know in the comments how you guys are tracking all of these things that go on in your life that you've not committed to, but that are just ideas, because I'm always looking for more ideas. Now, I promised you that my tip number 3 was my favorite. Here it is. Tip number 3 is keep it all together, which means if you have an event, keep the information for that event with it. The way I do this with a digital calendar is, for example, when I have a doctor's appointment, I can pull up my dentist appointment and it's got the appointment information. And then when I hit the info tab and I scroll down, you'll see within the notes, this one for the dentist, maybe check back molar. Whatever it is I want to talk to the dentist about during that session, I can add right in the notes section of my entry. So when I'm in the edit screen and I scroll down, I can enter all of my notes that I want to talk to about for that doctor, because I don't think of them all at once. And when I'm there, it's the last thing I think of. So as I think about it, I just open up the event and I add the note really quick. You can add web links, you can add attachments in Dropbox. There's so much that you can add within Week Calendar. So if I get out of the dentist one, sometimes I might have a doctor's appointment that's not set yet, but I have my list and I want to have only one place for this information. So whenever it's time for me to start thinking about setting that doctor's appointment, I might set an event in order to remind myself to set that appointment. So within this event, it's not actually set. It's just called Set Doctor. This is to remind me to set the doctor's appointment, but primarily it's to hold those notes in the meantime. So as I'm thinking about things that next time I go to the doctor's appointment, I can have notes, ask about vitamin D, sore spot on my side. My last migraine was February 20th because I know that they would ask. That type of information is already there. So when I set the appointment, I can open up this event and adjust the time and information to when the appointment is. But it's already been captured. So as soon as I think of it, I've got an easy place to just go to and dump that information so it's not in my head and so I don't forget it. Because one of the most frustrating things for me is to finish a doctor's appointment, be in the car, and realize that I forgot to ask something that I meant to ask them. Another example of keeping information with an event, for example, concert. This one is for a concert, and in my notes, you'll see that the tickets are on Ticket Hub and in an email from February 7th, 2018. So this reminds me where I have the tickets. It could be tickets are in the kitchen drawer, or the tickets are in the mail to me. It will tell me where the tickets are so that night I'm not scrambling trying to find where the tickets are for that concert. I just open up my event and it'll tell me exactly where to look. There are way too many digital places in the world to look nowadays. So it helps so much to just hop on and see all the relevant information that I need. I could have also added a URL with the driving directions. I've got the driving directions here, but it could be parking information. I could include who I'm going with, and I can even share an event. I could share it with who I'm going with at the same time if I wanted to. So that's one of the other ways that I do it. Finally, sometimes I add shopping on as a task on my personal calendar to do, and when I do that, once I schedule it, then I can add my shopping list even right within my calendar app. That way I don't lose the list. I've already blocked off the time to do it, so it's not one of those trying to squeeze it in somewhere, and I can easily move the event to a different date if I need to. If I find out that Monday it's a little too crazy and I don't make it to the store, that's okay. I can just reschedule it and my list will transfer with it. But it'll remind me the things that I need to get at the store. This is so handy. You can add reminders to yourself. Maybe if you're going to an event, remember to bring a dessert might be your reminder. Another thing that you'll see that I do sometimes, if I've got notes with an event, you can see I can add an icon. There's multiple icons available. In this one I just did the exclamation points, and sometimes I just simply use an asterisk. If there's an asterisk in front of the name, that usually tells me that there are notes attached to that event. So I remember to scroll down into the notes, because not all of my events need notes, but for certain ones they do. And you'll see how the icon can help me, if it's super important, it can help me quickly eyeball what's most important on my calendar. I can also change colors. Sometimes I'll change the color to red so it's highly visible. Now these are a little bit lighter because these days have passed. You'll notice that within week calendar it unbrightens. I can't think of a better word. It unbrightens the days ahead of your current day. It highlights the current day, and then the days to come up are a little bit darker, so they're easier to see. Aha, Mary is asking that she loves the calendar app, but does it work with the calendar on the Mac computer? And is it available only on iPhone and iPad? This is available on, I think, every phone. I know it's available on iPhone, Android, and Google, and the Pixel. So it's available on all the smartphones that I know of. But also, oh, DIMS, thank you, Mary. But also on your Mac, it does not have a Mac app, but it does sync with iCal. So when I open up my Mac and open the calendars within my Mac, those same calendars show up. They're just going to show up in iCalendar's format. So I don't have the beautiful formatting and month view that I have along with Week Calendar. I'm really hoping that Week Calendar will add that on as a Mac app though. But it does sync, so it is still extremely useful. I don't lose any data. It syncs with Google, Gmail, Yahoo Mail, Outlook. It syncs with just about anything that you would need to use it with. Well, I hope that these were helpful for you. I'm probably going to be a lot darker right now because I dimmed the lights for the camera or for the screen. But I hope that these were helpful for you. These are some of my favorite apps that I use all the time. A lot of times with clients, one of the first things that I'll set up is their calendar app. It's the best way to start off with going paperless and being digital, because then you're not struggling to find your planner in order to set an appointment or check an appointment. Because it's so frustrating for people when you ask if they can do something on a certain day. They're like, oh, when I get home and I get to my planner, then I'll check and see if I'm available. And it's just very inefficient and frustrating on both sides. Being the person trying to set the appointment, I'd really like to be able to just set the appointment with you and be done with it instead of remembering having to follow up with you. And also, you can't lose your phone as well as you can lose the planner. Well, that's not true. I lose my phone all the time, but you can find your phone easier than you can find your planner thanks to the app Find My iPhone. So I'm losing my phone all the time, but I can find it a lot faster than I can find a planner. I hope that this was helpful for you. What is your favorite tip that I might not have covered today from using a calendar, an online calendar? I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and if there's anything you'd like me to cover in this series, please let me know. This month we're focusing a lot on time. You can also find my other videos. I've got a bunch of videos now, thankfully, on YouTube. Some productivity videos, home organizing. We talk about the Rocket Book and we talk about the Wandering Tidy. Those are very popular videos. You can find it on YouTube. Just search Suzanna Kaye and find me. Again, I'm Suzanna Kaye with Spark Organizing. You can find me here at 11 a.m. every Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week, we are talking about apps to boost your calendar. So all of those apps that you can use with your calendar to kind of up your game. If you are an entrepreneur or a very busy person who sets things with other people, sets events a lot, we will talk about some apps that help you set meetings with other people, ones that help you see where your free time chunks are, so you can quickly set things without having to keep scrolling through your calendar to find where you're free, and so much more. All of these little apps that sync with your calendar and help you out. So next week, 11 a.m., add it to your calendar right now. You know how, and I look forward to seeing you then. I love you so much. I will see you. Bye.